to the Adventure of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm here with
Hayley Cramer.
Nice. And we're here on Shiprocked.
We are, and it's early morning.
I know, right?
So yeah, you've got my early morning voice.
And it was a wild night last night, so I think nobody on the ship is really awake at this time.
No, not at all.
But what a badass night, too, with the Stowaways and all those songs. I mean, I think that was one of the best performances of the whole Shiprocked so far.
Wow.
In my opinion.
Thank you for that. A lot went into that. We had a lot of fun with it. It was a bit different from what Stowaways normally do. We went all out 80s kind of pop.
Right.
I just got so excited seeing, my favorite players playing pop music.
Right.
This is different. I'm not going to lie, I got a crush on Heidi doing Don't You Want Me Baby.
I know, right?
And when she came off stage, I was like, I just got a little crush on you, because that was just so adorable.
Well, what's been amazing about Heidi, the whole crew's like, okay, she did the Butcher Babies at the pre-party.
Yeah, and that was awesome.
And I told her when I saw her on here, because I'm friendly with her, I'm like, that was probably, because she knows I'm at all the festivals, that's probably the best pre-party of any of the festivals
It was
ever.
Amazing. Yeah.
Like, usually they're kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
But I would have been happy with just that pre-party.
Yeah, they killed it.
You know?
It was awesome.
And then she gets up and performs with Nothing More. Like, I remember I was at the first Nothing More. I expected it the second time, but the first time I didn't expect it. I was sitting there, and I think somebody was texting me, and I looked down for a second, and then I heard her voice. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, she's killing it. Absolutely killing it.
And I love that you brought up the point about the music, because I'm from the 80s, and I'm a thrash metal head from the 80s, and we weren't allowed to, like, any of that music because all the gatekeeping bullshit.
Mm-hmm. But
so
there's some guilty pleasures,
Yes.
And, we've all got them.
Oh, yeah. So it's so cool seeing these artists
hear them
play
played
those
by
songs.
your favorite rock and metal artists.
Right.
It was cool. We had so much fun last night. I mean, I said to so many of the guys at the end of the set, my cheeks were hurting because I was smiling the whole way through.
See, that's so cool to hear because it should be fun. Like, if you're not having fun doing this, wrong business.
Yeah, and I did the first song of the set, and the kit just completely broke on me.
Yeah, Tom was telling me 5 bass drum pedals.
5 kick pedals, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and by the end of the set as well, there was a hole in the bass drum head. So we all knew, we were on the edge. But the great thing about the Stowaways is it's all just fun. Don't take yourself too seriously. We're here, and it's all part of the journey. Yeah. Sometimes stuff breaks. Well, it was a great moment.
It is fun because you get to do something you're not normally doing, I think people don't realize when you go on tour and you're playing the same stuff over and over again, it's nice to have something like this that breaks up the monotony.
Absolutely. And also, when you go and do your normal touring, you've got your tour family. But here in the Stowaways, I've got 6 or 7 other drummers that right there, we're here together, and it's the best thing ever.
I know, right?
So good.
What it reminds me of, I was saying this to Tom the other day, my 18th birthday party in L.A., we rented one of those storage things where all the bands practice. It was a storage, but the Dickies were practicing next door to my birthday party. And then I was friends with a lot of the LA bands, so they all came to my party and got up on stage and played Breaking the Law playing different instruments than they normally play. Like you had people from Slayer,
moments.
Armored Saint, Wasp, Metallica and all that, and they're all like playing the wrong instruments.
Yep.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
And so that's what that reminded me of.
Absolutely. That is the spirit. It's, you're slightly out of your comfort zone, but you're with all your mates.
Yeah.
So it's nothing but fun.
It's great, especially in times we have now in the world, to see all you guys like united and, just bonding together and showing that our music family is one big happy family.
Absolutely.
I think we should be the poster child for the rest of the world that's acting like a bunch of idiots.
Damn right.
I mean, you go to a festival and it's like there are no outsiders. There's no bullshit.
It's not about putting up walls and keeping people away. It's about bringing people in, opening your heart and bringing people in. That's the way I live my life. And most musicians, that's the way we live our life.
Right. And especially in our genre, because it's it's funny because I had this girl that was working for me, and one year I had to do both Rockville and Fort Rock in the same weekend. Obviously, I can't do that. So I sent her, but she had never been to a rock show ever, much less a metal or anything else. She was a country girl. Mm-hmm. And I told her, I'm like, listen, you're going to go there, and you're going to find a huge difference. It's not a bunch of rednecks getting drunk and fighting with each other. And we have mosh pits, but nobody's fighting. And you're going to find we're one big family, and you'll make friends and this and that, and you'll have the best time of your life. Yeah. She comes back afterwards. She's like, oh, my God, you were so right. I have all these new friends. And she goes, I teabagged some guy, and he's now my boyfriend. And she's like, and I got this new favorite band. I don't know if you know them. They're called Bring Me the Horizon.
Aye.
And I'm like, I think I know who they are. But see, that's the example. Like, everybody has this vision of what we are.
I know.
And it's so
I know, and it's the opposite. There's so much love. But I think this genre of music it's so passion-fueled. It's so... You wear your heart on your sleeve. All emotions, very strong emotions, are in this music.
Yes.
It's not fake.
It's therapy.
It's absolutely. So we're all here together to get through and survive. And the only way you can do that is through love.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And that's what you feel at a rock show. And then on a cruise ship just full of us, it's amazing.
It's even better. Like, I've thousands of festivals I've done. This is the first time I've covered Shiprocked. And everybody told me, and everybody's like, you need to do it, you need to do it. Okay, I'll do it this year. And, the camaraderie, it's even more intensified on Shiprocked.
Yeah.
And tell me how you feel. I've been noticing that people are really cool with the artists. Okay, so you go to a festival, and they're crowding around you, and they won't leave you alone, and blah, blah, blah. But here it's just they'll even just walk by, hey, and just keep walking, which is what every artist would love to have.
Yep. Yeah, no, there is that, but I have to say, I don't know, it's my third Shiprock cruise now, and I actually look forward to elevator rides because I don't know who I'm going to run into, and it's just really, it's fun to talk to people, and everybody's going and doing their own thing, so nobody bothers you for too long. I go and eat sometimes in the normal eating area. I don't just go in the artist area because I see them all the time. I want to go and see all the other people as well, I
love that.
People sitting and joining me, having food with me. That's community.
Yes.
That's where you really learn about the world, speaking to loads of different people. And I get to do that every day on this ship, and it's beautiful.
I love it, because I was going to bring that up, too, because I notice so many artists that are eating in the regular dining room, and they would never do that at a festival.
Yeah, because nobody on here is being bad to us. It's all very respectful, as you said. And it's just a beautiful thing. It's really cool hanging out with everyone.
Somebody made a comment to me last night. I'm like, that makes sense. Maybe the people here are being like that because they know they're here a week, that they're going to have
They'll probably run into you again.
Yes. Whereas at festival, it's like, oh, my God, this is the only time I'm ever going to see them, ever.
Yeah.
So they're more chill, I guess, because of
absolutely.
that,
It's a really cool thing.
What's it like playing on the ship? We were just talking outside before, a bunch of us, and I watched a couple guitarists and singers almost fall over when the boat's rocking. And then Tom was talking about one of the Shiprocked where They had gale force winds and his...
Last year.
Yeah, and his drums came at him.
Last year was crazy weather-wise. I was watching Bad Flower on deck last year, and the heavens opened. Sorry, it's the morning. The heavens opened. The water was just rain coming down sideways, blowing all over the place. It was ridiculous, but a magic moment because they played through that song, and obviously the set had to end after that, sadly. But that song, I'll never forget it. Just, yeah, it was everybody just out there in the elements. Nice. But yeah, yesterday on stage, I didn't even realize we'd started moving. So it was really smooth yesterday. That's cool. Thank goodness. But yeah, there's been some moments, I think, rehearsals the other day. It was a bit wobbly, but touch wood, this year has been quite calm. So, yeah.
What's been so far your favorite part of Shiprocked this year?
Oh, this year I loved watching Devour the Day, 11:45 a.m. on deck. The sun was just pounding down, and those boys killed it. Obviously, nice. I've got a soft spot for them because Blake and good. Joey are in Pop Evil as well. Justin, the drummer, used to be my drum tech, and just to watch them absolutely kill a set that, 11:45, like, it shouldn't be good. Right. It was amazing, and everybody was loving it. So that was a good moment for me. I loved just standing back and being so proud of them.
Nice.
The vocals were flawless. It was,
I love it.
For 11:45 a.m. Damn.
Right?
They were showing people how it should be done. Like,
there it is. It's hard. It's hard as an artist even to do an 11:45 show because when you're on tour and stuff, and
it doesn't feel right being in daylight.
Right.
You're so exposed. Then the heat, and yes, it's early morning, so your brain isn't quite there, So
I think you also kind of have to make up with musicianship what you're lacking in a show, meaning at night you could have pyrotechnics, lights, and all this that kind of, that's part of it. And then you have nothing. Yep. 11:45.
And they absolutely slayed.
Nice.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So what else you got going on in 2025 after this?
After this, so at the moment I'm doing a lot of composing for TV and film, actually.
Nice.
So that was going really well last year, and that's just going to continue. I did like 4 or 5 albums last year. Wow. The cool thing is I don't have to post on social media about that, so I get to just be a nerd and do exercise that muscle.
It's rough doing the social media now as an artist, right? Like it used to be in the day that you didn't have to worry about that stuff.
Yeah, last year my social media got really badly hacked. And it's changed my feeling towards the place, to be honest with you. Because whenever I go on social media now, I don't feel like it's my own personal space. I feel like somebody is watching, or some bot is watching. Mm-hmm. What's going to happen? Is my identity going to be taken again? Am I going to be locked out? It was a really bad hack, and I don't think I've sort of recovered from that. I don't want to go back to solely relying on social media, because at that point it was like it was my identity. It was.
And you figured out it could be taken away at any time.
I was like, who am I now? If everything's been taken away, am I going to still have a career? How do I connect with people? But as soon as it was gone, I felt this sense of freedom. And I don't really want to go back to the extent that I was there before. Yeah. I was checking it every day, checking it every morning. Who's like this? Who's like that? How can I do a post that is better for the algorithms? How do I beat the algorithm? It's like, oh my God, that was so consuming. And being free of that now, I've been playing with so many different musicians, so many doors are opening up, not doing that. Right. I can't believe I'm saying that, to be honest with you, because there was a point where it was kind of like an addiction.
Yeah, it's totally an addiction.
You'd find yourself just pressing that Instagram button or the Facebook button, and you're like, why am I doing this?
Oh, to your point, I told my youngest daughter one day, I was like, some days I just want to drive down the road with my laptop, my iPad, and my phone and throw them out the window and keep driving. And she goes, Dad, who you kidding? You're just as addicted as anybody. I'm like, yeah, but I remember when I didn't have all this shit, and it was a lot better. Yep. You know?
And I thought, oh God, it's gonna be frowned upon. People are gonna be like, oh, you're old, you're not doing, like, no. I think the way forward in life is for the whole planet to get a grip on this social media thing.
It's not social.
It's not. It's really isolating.
I just blocked. I don't block many people because, like, I have to use it for what I'm doing. Yeah. I just blocked a high school friend last night. because just people have just become such assholes, to be blunt. This is where we're supposed to be a community, and it's the exact opposite.
Yeah. And the best thing about being on a cruise ship, it's limited Wi-Fi or whatever.
Oh, it's been nice.
You have actual, proper interactions with people that mean so much more. You make friends here on Shiprocked that stay for life.
Well, it's like the way it used to be.
It's not about what you're doing on social. It's not about social media or anything. It is actual, physical, human connections.
Yes.
And yeah, it's awesome being here.
I think kids nowadays like miss that aspect of music. They don't even know it exists. But when I was a teenager in the 80s, like I went to like shows like the first Metallica and Slayer shows, and you sat outside and hung out with them and talked to them, and then you would interact afterwards, and just the whole vibe that I think isn't there the same anymore because of social media.
Yeah, and interestingly, there's one of the companies that I work for composing for TV and film, and they don't want any kind of fake music. It all organic instruments, and
Thank God.
Because they're convinced that people feel the difference.
I do.
And that's the interesting thing about this year being 80s themed, like all the songs last night in the Stowaways. When you listen to those tracks, the instruments, the time and attention, and we went on stage, no click, no track, just a bunch of live musicians. And when you feel that space in between notes, the breath, it suddenly becomes more whole.
Yes.
And I've got nothing against tracks. I work with tracks sometimes. I know lots of bands that do. It's good. It's good for this time. But when you then go back and take away all of that, suddenly there's this big warmth and wholeness. It's a magical thing.
And it's funny.
We've got to find the balance, because when things get too track heavy, it becomes soulless. And it's like the sound always just goes to that same level. There's no dips and yeah. It's a very cool thing, the Stowaways, to just throw away all the kind of track.
And you didn't worry so much about being perfect. Like, so many of my favorite shows from being younger is the band's fucked up.
Hey, the bass drum pedal breaking last night, that's a human moment. Like, how's Hayley going to deal with it? I smiled, stood up, somebody helped me fix it.
I was watching that too. I didn't even know what it was about, but
as it was happening, I was like, okay, so we've gone atmospheric here for a minute, but I'm going to come back in a minute and absolutely slay, and it's going to be great. And so they left the pedal, they'd fixed it a bit, and I just sat down and went, right, let's go, And it's those moments, that doesn't necessarily happen with track.
And to that point,
it just keeps going.
Yeah, and to that point, I've noticed like the newer artists that are relying on tracks, when shit happens at shows, they just basically stop the whole show.
Yeah.
Whereas in the old days, the show must go on. You did whatever you had through it.
And the team on stage, that band on stage last night, we all just work together to get through it and communicate, looking at each other, eyeballing each other, like, right, okay, how are we going to do this? How are we going to get through? Okay, it's okay, guys, I got you. I'm right back.
Right.
And it's those things that are just magical. Yeah.
And meanwhile, us in the audience, we didn't notice there was crap going on. Like, even when you were going through that, I was looking up, I'm like, maybe just tuning the drums or drumstick or something
the whole
like
pedal
that.
Had just gone down.
Right. That didn't even enter my head till this morning when he said it today.
I had no feet for a minute.
Right? Oh, man. So how do people reach out to you? Speaking of which, on social.
I am. I'm still on Instagram.
And on
that's the one that has remained.
And how they get to your like merch and everything that's going on and all that stuff.
I don't have personal merch, but yeah, go and get a Stowaways t-shirt.
There you go.
and just know that I'm very excited about 2025, and there's cool things coming up.
Are you going to be the next Danny Elfman?
No, that's a tall order. No.
I know, right? This will blow your mind. Westlake High School, 1980. Oingo Boingo played in the gymnasium for like an assembly.
Wow.
Yeah. So, like, it's like now I don't even conceive of he's like one of the greatest composers ever.
Yeah.
Like, it's wow.
Yeah.
So that's why I made that reference. So maybe you will be.
It's going to give me something to work towards.
There you go. I love it. Well, thanks for being here, and kicking ass. And you want to give us any hint? Well, it won't come out till after Shiprocked, so we won't give anything away. But any hints about tomorrow night?
Well, it's obviously heavier. We did the pop set, so
right.
Yeah, all your absolute faves are in the set. It's going to be awesome.
Nice. I was surprised too that Joey didn't do a Journey song.
Yeah.
Because he loves doing that Journey stuff. But he killed it too. Like everybody, in my opinion, killed it. I couldn't believe how many voices were on point for certain songs. Like that's not how these people's voices are, but yet
I know.
They were able to, like Duran, his voice was perfect for that song.
I know. How cool was it?
Right? And then you're talking about Heidi, you know, like not many people would expect her to be able to have that voice on that song.
The thing that you're seeing, they're known for one genre, but the musicality of these people, there's so many muscles that aren't exercised all the time. And they're getting to stretch those muscles in that set. And it was amazing.
What I love, too, is I've always said that, like, metal singers in particular, metal singers, people don't realize that they actually are really good singers because they're singing a certain genre that you don't do certain things. But then you have something like that where you could say, wow, that person has a great range. I didn't even realize they could sing like that.
Exactly. It was a good night. And it's going to be another amazing night tomorrow.
I love it. Well, thanks a lot for being here on Shiprocked, and thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipeman.
I better get back to rehearsal now.
Yes, you better.
Hey, this is Hayley Cramer, and you're listening to Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.